Nebraska, a young man, about 27 years of age, does a great job. He'll take on Bob Breen out of Jefferson City, Missouri in Wild Hair.
Of course, Nightlife's running a 454 cubic inch blown injected on alcohol. He's got a little advantage over Wild Hair here. He's running a stock 454 in his truck. He had problems with it and blew it up, and you can tell right there the difference in horsepower. Wieczorek takes a tremendous lead and takes a nice win.
Big win there over Wild Hair, and I do believe that Bob is having some problems with that engine.
Yeah, it's a stock motor in that truck right now. The reason why is last weekend he blew it up. He has a problem with it. He's got a blown injected on alcohol motor. He usually runs in there, and here's where it shows the difference in horsepower. Wieczorek takes a big lead, just takes it nice and easy over the second set of cars, so he doesn't take a chance in breaking it, so he can come back for the next round.
David, a nice smooth run. How do you assess the competition tonight?
Well, it's pretty good. I know a lot of guys are having hard times keeping their motors running. I don't know what their problems are, but a lot of them are getting them worked out, so it should be interesting towards the end.
And here's a couple of guys looking to get things going for themselves. Leadfoot, driven by Ron Dennis out of Flagstaff, Arizona, and he'll take on Paul Huffaker. He's just showing off out of Conroe, Texas.
Now, just showing off, he's been running a long time. I've raced him before, and he knows what it takes to win. Now, Leadfoot here, he doesn't really do real good on these races. He has a lot of problems with that truck, it seems like. But I tell you what, Stan, he's doing a great job so far. Oh, this is kind of hard to believe here. Pablo letting him beat him like that.
Oh, my.
This is an upset, Stan.
Good
totally.
show. Good show by Ron Dennis.
Let me see if I can tell what happened with Pablo here. He got a little bit bouncing there off to the first set of cars. But look at Leadfoot. His front end's up in the air, but he just carries it nicely. As he hits that second set of cars, he gets a lot of air. Oh, this is a great run.
All right, let's go down to Mike Goss at Trackside.
Ron, one of the best runs I've ever seen for Leadfoot.
Yeah, we're trying to get our stuff together finally. Last night was pretty rough on all of us, but tonight I tried a little different strategy. I slowed down a little bit when I hit the first set, so I didn't bounce near as bad as you've seen me doing in qualifying.
Okay, it looked like a little problems after you finished the race. Is there a problem with the truck?
No, there are no problems with it. These remote-controlled radio switches that we have for the public safety, I looked over after I shut it down right there, and the light was off on it. They did. Maybe they killed me. They thought I was going to hit the fence, which is good.
Well, of course, safety is a big concern for the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Both safety for the monster truck driver during the race and for the fans alongside the track. Rich Hooser tells us about the most important safety feature, the kill switch.
One of the safety features developed by TNT is a remote kill switch. The way this works is this receiver is mounted inside the vehicle and turned on. And through the antenna and the transmitter, which is held by the track official at the end of the track, he has the control over when to kill that engine by hitting that button. Now, the only time he will do this is if the vehicle is out of control and people are in danger. Now, sometimes the vehicle may look like it's out of control, but the driver is not. He has control of the vehicle, and he sometimes needs that power to get out of a tight situation.
Okay, round one continues. It'll be Master Disaster, driven by Doug Spanier out of Albany, Minnesota, and a guy who's used that kill switch often.
That's right. Rod Litzau has flipped USA 1 a couple of times. Now, they had used that kill switch to kill the fuel pumps, to keep fuel from spreading all over the track in case of a fire. Of course, we'll see right here. Looks like Spanier's having a little bit of problems going up against USA 1. Now, Rod's got a great lead right there across the finish line, but I think there was a few problems with Master Disaster.
You're right. Definitely problems for Doug Spanier.
Well, let's take a look at Rod's run here first. So across the first set of cars, he hits that exit ramp just perfect. Right there, he just kicks it in, and he gets that horsepower, turning them big tires over, and that's where he gets the speed up to clear all these cars in the second set to cross over the finish line. Now, he just barely catches that last car, and the suspension's working real good as he comes up there. Now, when he lands on the ground, he'll bring it down on all fours and cross the finish line.
Well, Rich, as Litzau went across the finish line, Doug Spanier took Master Disaster, kind of parked it across the guardrail.
Yeah, he did there, and what had happened, and he lost it on the first set of cars. He got a little crooked and got crossed up, and in turn, he couldn't quite hit that second set of cars. We'll see here where it all started right there. He didn't land on the other side of cars. And you see right there, the rear steering kicked on him a little bit. Now, that's what happens when you don't get lined up for that second set of cars. He didn't have enough time, and in turn, he ended up going through the guardrail.
All right, here's Mike Goss down at Trackside with a kind of shaken Doug Spanier.
Doug, you took out a good chunk of the guardrail. What happened?
I was really trying hard tonight to beat USA 1. I had my truck running good. I got a little bit crossed up in the first set of cars, and I got it straightened out. When I caught the second set, I don't know, it's just like the rear wheels turned, and it just took a left turn right over through the fence.
kind of stood it up straight on that first set of cars. That really hurts early on in a race, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and especially starting out in the left lane, the dirt ramp seems to be a little bit sharper. It's shooting everybody up in the air a little more.
Well, Rich, it seems like Master Disaster has been disqualified.
Yeah, he has, Stan, since he did go out of bounds, and he thinks it was caused from them ramps at that first set of cars, and of course that's where it started. And since he did go out of bounds, he is disqualified.
Well, it looks like the end of the night for Doug Spanier. And we'll continue with more action from Sunland Park and the start of round 2 right after this. And Tractor Power, Stan Rhodes and Rich Hooser here for the start of round 2. It will be Wild Hair taking on Leadfoot. And then USA 1 versus Just Showing Off and Tough Enough up against Nightlife and Mad Dog in a bye run because of Master Disaster, driven by Doug Spanier, being disqualified for going out of bounds. So there you see Bob Breen in Wild Hair out of Jefferson City, Missouri.
And of course, Bob Breen's still running that stock 454. He's coming a long way.
And here's a guy with a lot of surprises for us tonight, Ron Dennis out of Flagstaff, Arizona in Leadfoot.
Yeah, Leadfoot's doing real good here tonight. He's just surprising me. Just unbelievable the way he's running. Now, this ought to be a good, even race here. You got Ron Dennis, but the way he's been running, he's going to do real good. He hits the cars first, and he's got a great lead over Wild Hair. And this is unbelievable the way Ron Dennis is just taking over the show tonight. He's doing an excellent job at driving. That truck is just holding together great.
Well, congratulations, Ron Dennis, in that 77 El Camino.
Of course, you can see right here, he's got a tremendous lead on him over that first set of cars. Now, without that horsepower, Bob Breen is just nothing else he can do. Now, Dennis does a little bit of bouncing right here, but he manages to keep the lead and take the win.
Okay, let's go down to Mike Goss.
Ron, looks like you got him right off the starting line.
Yeah, we built a little bit bigger motor this year, Mike. We're doing pretty good. We got to do a few more changes to our suspension, as you can tell. But, we feel pretty confident tonight.
Well, Rich, Ron Dennis is feeling pretty good. Now you see Pablo Cruz out of Phoenix, Arizona in Tough Enough, driving that 1989 Ford Super Cab, a former mud bog racer, and Mike Speller getting them all ready to go. It's going to be against Dave Wieczorek, Grand Island, Nebraska, driving Nightlife.
And this ought to be a good race here. Now, this first run here, Pablo Cruz didn't do so well, but I think he might have learned something because look right here, he's coming on strong. He's got a little bit of a lead over Wieczorek, but right there in between the cars where Wieczorek takes over, it's going to be real close, Dan, but it looks like Dave Wieczorek and Nightlife takes a win.
Well, that former mudbogger gave it a run, but it was Dave Wieczorek coming back with a good win.
He did excellent. He learned a lot from his first run. Now, these guys are both pretty equal on horsepower. They're both blown and injected. Now, Tough Enough, his engine's in the back. Now, I don't know if that gave him a little disadvantage or not, but Wieczorek takes the win.
All right, well, let's take a moment now and go down to Trackside with Mike Goss, who has Dave Wieczorek.
Dave, you were behind off that first set of cars. Did anything happen on the starting line?
No, everybody's getting a bad bounce on that first set, so I thought if I just took it a little easy over that first set of cars and then got into it when I got on the straight, it worked. It did.
So you hit it pretty hard in the straightaway then?
Right.
This Tough Enough looks like a pretty good truck. We haven't seen him before.
Yeah, he is. That's the first time I've ran with him, and, you know, from what I can see, he's going to be a tough competitor.
So round 2 continues with USA 1, Rod Litzau in that 88 Chevy. A lot of horsepower there, and he'll be taking on Pablo Huffaker and Just Showing Off in that 89 Ford.
Yeah, this is going to be a good run. Now, I'll tell you what, I've raced both these guys before, and here's one thing that Litzau will do. Now, he doesn't own this truck. Now, Pablo owns his truck, so he might be a little more easy on the equipment. And Litzau, every time he runs, it's just full bore the whole way. And you can see right here, he's just got the hammer down, and he just takes a win. Real fast run there.
Oh, he was way in front of Pablo.
Now, Pablo had a little bit of problems there in the first set of cars. He's doing a little bit of a bouncing act there. His front tires, he can't seem to get them on the ground, and you can see Litzau's already on the ground. But when Pablo hits that second set of cars, he just takes it nice and easy. Hopefully he can come back again.
Let's go down to Mike Goss.
Pablo, everything's got to go right to beat USA 1, doesn't it?
Oh, you bet. He's a tough customer.
Looks like you had a little trouble. You got a little out of shape on the first set of cars.
That little truck wasn't handling real good. Even if it had been handling good, it'd been hard to run with Rod.
Indeed, it is a little hard to run with somebody when you got a truck like USA 1, backed and sponsored by Chevrolet. He can have a lot of money to get all that horsepower. As you can see right here, he takes a nice, easy win, clearing almost all the cars. Perfect run.
Rod, they're staying with you right off the starting line, but when you hit that straightaway, I mean, it's just horsepower and speed.
Yeah, that's the way we got this thing geared up right now. We're coming out of the hole a little bit slower because I'm geared up so high so I can work the power out. So when I get in the mid-range there,
I just break it loose, and the thing just wants to go.
Now, you had to hustle back to the pits before that race to get a drive shaft fixed. That kind of stuff happens a lot, isn't it? You really have to think on your feet and work fast.
Yeah, it happens once in a while, and it's just lucky that, you know, me and my crew, you know, we can get the teamwork together and get it done fast. And we got it done in time, and now we're back to race. Everything's ready.
Well, let's conclude with round 2, and in a bye run, it's going to be Jon Breen out of Jefferson City, Missouri, in Mad Dog, and that all has to do with round 1 you see here.
That's right. What happened with Master's Disaster, since he did go out of bounds and he was disqualified, he should have been the one to run against Mad Dog, but since he's disqualified, Mad Dog gets a bye.
Well, he's set, ready to go. Here he goes.
And, of course, in this bye run, he's not going to run real hard. Now, he's running just to make sure everything's working all right, so when he's in that semifinal round, he'll know the truck's ready to go. So he takes a nice, easy run. There's no time to worry about, and he makes it through fine.
So Jon Breen makes a good run. And next, it's going to be the semifinals. And the monster truck to beat. Could it be USA 1? Can Dave Wieczorek do it in Nightlife? We'll find out right after Sunland Park. Stan Rhodes and Rich Hooser here as we get ready for the Final 4. It'll be LEADFOOT taking on USA 1. The driver, Rod Litzau, up against Ron Dennis. And then Nightlife, Dave Wieczorek taking on Mad Dog, Jon Breen. And driving up to the starting line, Rod Litzau in USA 1. A lot of power there. He's ready to go up against a man who's not quite accustomed to being in the semifinals, Ron Dennis.
That's right, Stan. Now, Ron Dennis, this is new for him going up against, especially going up against Litzau here in the semifinals. Now, he's been doing real good in that left lane, but I'll tell you what, he's been going against Litzau. He might be a little bit intimidated here going against the chase. You can see right there, he's got all kinds of problems there in that lane. Now, he did real good in there earlier, and it seems like he had all kinds of problems, bouncing like crazy.
Easy win for Litzau. We got a problem here.
It looks like LEADFOOT's got a little bit of a problem. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it started again, because we'll see right here, he just hits that last car in the first set of cars and just threw his nose way up in the air. And, of course, with the suspension not working quite right, he has a little bit of problems keeping it down on the ground.
All right, let's go down trackside. Mike Goss has Rod Litzau.
Well, Rod, you just told me it's really running good now. I see a lot of excitement in your eyes. You really love this, don't you?
Oh, man, the truck's running great. I finally got her dialed down to this track, and it's going to be fast. I'm going faster every time.
Now, Rich, this can't be good news for Jon Breen and Mad Dog. Of course, he's out of Jefferson City, part of the Breen Boys Racing Toys, and he'll be going up against Dave Wieczorek. The guy drives with his head out the door in Nightlife.
Yeah, he does that a lot every time he races. He's got his head out. Now, he does that so he can see a little bit better. Now, I've driven like that before doing exhibition runs, but never racing. But it seems like it's helping him pretty good here. He can see where he's going because he's got a nice straight run.
Good win for Dave Wieczorek in Nightlife.
Seems like Mad Dog might have had a little bit of problems there. His engine doesn't seem to be running real well. He can't get his horsepower up, and that gives Nightlife a chance to get a good lead on him before he hits that second set of cars. He takes it nice and smooth over the finish line to take the win.
Okay, Mike Goss has got Jon Breen. We'll find out what the problem was.
John, the engine just wasn't running right for you, was it?
Yeah, we just couldn't get it running, so I guess we're just going to call in our dogs and put out the fire.
Well, with John having them problems with his engines, Wieczorek didn't have any problems with his. And since he is in his lane that he likes, I hope he can keep that lane because he's going to be going up against Litzau in this next round in the finals. And let's see if he can keep that truck running nice and straight, and hopefully he won't have no problems with his engine.
Okay, let's go down. Mike Goss has Dave Wieczorek.
Dave, you're up against the defending national champion in the last race. What's going to be your strategy?
Well, I'm just going to try and take that first set the best I can and quit getting the bounce. I know he's been taking a pretty good bounce. He's got lane choice over me, so as long as I keep my same lane, I've pretty much got it down. So I'm hoping that if I get it, I'll take the cars a little slower and then hopefully